Game number 1, we are playing Leona into Taric. He kept making the exact same mistake this game over and over. I'm curious to see if you can figure out what that mistake was. Notice how every time he uses his stun to engage onto me, I immediately start the fight after it. I'm not necessarily wanting to fight, it's just if he has no stun to protect his ADC, what's stopping me from going in, right? With all the action happening in the bot lane, no one really had time to set up proper vision to counter the junglers, so I let my Kha'Zix know that it's probably a free gank if he comes down here. He takes advantage of it, and immediately we pick up another kill onto the Jinx. Things were going in our favor in the bot lane. 11 minutes in, no mistakes have been made by me. We end up engaging once more and getting the Taric ult for free. The wave's pushing in, so it's a great opportunity to dive. This is the first mistake I make. I accidentally cue the Taric as his stun is coming out. This locks me up and means the Ezreal can't follow up. Ezreal ends up sticking around and dying under the tower. We attempt to clean up the kills because they overstayed. There is a balance that I'm going to need to try and find with Leona. Overall, my Leona is quite strong, but I fall into the trap of being overly aggressive and handing gold back. It's something that happens when you're new to a champion. It's just one of the weaknesses I have right now that we're going to need to work on. It's not too difficult to fix either, because it's harder to get a lead than to not give it back. We did a massive jump into the future, skipping ahead to 25 minutes. We kept our lead as the team, 30 kills to 18. We're still in a very commanding position, but it's clear the enemy team is starting to pick up some momentum. They're scaling and becoming a threat to us. We were so close to pulling that off. The Akali you're watching is another content creator on OC and Curcio, so feel free to check him out if you want. He's pretty good. He was doing a lot of heavy lifting this game. We're currently watching a little scuffle. We're fighting over vision, realistically. If we can get control of this brush and then go to the Baron, that's what we wanted. But Ezreal, out of nowhere, just hard engages. Do I think it could have worked if we all committed with him? Yes. But no one was in position because we were all expecting to go back to the Baron. We end up trickling in one by one, attempting to help, but really Ezreal had a significant amount of our gold, and he just died instantly for free, right? So obviously this goes in the enemy's favor. There's not much we can do. It kind of ends up being a terrible situation for us. With the lead that we have, we shouldn't be handing over gold like we just did. Anyway, that shit happens sometimes. It is solo queue and people get bored. Some of you may have noticed over the last week, I put a lot of polls out asking a variety of questions. There was over 20,000 responses, so some of the information we gathered I thought would be quite interesting to share with you. I was curious about what percentage of you guys were still actively playing League. It turns out around 35% of you currently watching right now no longer play at all. Purely watch League content. I'm wondering what it would take to bring some of you OGs back into Summoner's Rift. One thing that I did notice was a lot of you still have the ambition to actually improve and climb, but probably just lack the time or direction, which makes it feel kind of hopeless for you. That's the reason I've partnered up with some of my friends who have been cooking up something a little special for you. I know some of the guys for a few years now, and this project they've been working on will definitely help you in your climb. And for those of you who no longer play, Maybe it's going to be the key to making you enjoy League again. Might bring back that competitive spirit that was beaten out of you all those years ago. This project, it's been in the works for many years. I know you're going to love it, so I'm not going to go into it too much now. I'll reveal more about it in the coming days. Stay tuned for that. Back into this game, we're attempting to force an end here, but their strongest player is the Camille, and she's split pushing. I'm doing everything I can to allow our strongest player, the Akali's, to back. I blocked the Jinx rocket, and I'm getting a little skeptical of the Akali's ability to deal with Camille. If she dies here, the game is over. So I feel pressured to hard engage onto anyone. We have the numbers, right? It's 4v3. It's their weakest players versus our players, which are stronger. It should work. I pick off the enemy mid laner, attempting to take away some of their damage, but it wasn't enough. I'm not sure what happened or how Ezreal still has full HP. Wouldn't be able to tell you what went wrong. All I know is it did go wrong, and it's technically my fault. From this point on, you are about to watch classic high elo OCE. This is what it's all about. I hope you enjoy it. What an absolute fiesta. No clue how this turned into a coin flip game, but it did. Fortunately, the coin flipped in our favor and we gained 22 LP off the first game.
Follow me. Turn the
Game number 2, we are playing Sion in the top lane, our secondary role. The first thing I do is wait back and figure out where the Fiora is sitting. A lot of the time they like to sit in the brush on the left and wait until you come out and try and poke you down. So I wait around and make sure that he's starting in a different location so that I can safely queue the first 3 minions. After that, it's mainly just about playing safe for me. I like to let the Fiora push my wave in, that way it can slowly bounce back and I can do what I'm doing here, which is stacking a wave, using the wave to have some kind of tempo. If Fiora all-ins me, it's likely she'll win, but they tend not to take that risk, which allows me to stack this wave, get level 6, and then back. We're running Phase Rush, which means we're playing AD Sion. Once we get enough gold to pick up the first Dirk, and you have 3 to 4 points in your Q, you can now successfully trade with the Fiora. Your Q flick does damage. Prior to that, don't even bother, you're just wasting your time. We can stack the wave, push it in, and start flicking it down. Eventually, they're not going to like this, and they're going to try it all in, and it's about timing. If you get the timing right here, this is a free kill, and you can start completely stomping them. If they manage to get the stun, there's a chance that they could kill you, but it's more likely you're going to be able to use the Phase Rush to run away safely and try again in the future. With the way that I play AD Sion into this matchup, we lose a lot of farm in the early levels, but we do tend to pick it up in the future. Once we get a kill or two, we're able to have lane tempo and match the clock in farm. You can see we're now at 141 farm at 14 minutes, so we didn't necessarily need to die many times to achieve this. From here, it's kind of a stock standard AD Sion gameplay. And I assume bot wasn't going so well because the Thresh ended up ditching it and roaming top to help us. It worked out in the end. He got us 1 kill there, and then Fiora decided to teleport top, which wasn't the smartest idea because he gets killed once again. I've clearly spent way too long in the bot lane because I can see just how clunky my top Sion is right here. It doesn't really matter though, I guess, as long as you have the fundamentals of farming. Whilst I'm creating split push pressure, Fiora decides to teleport to protect his tower. I look mid, see that the Twitch has just farmed mid, which means he's likely recalling. I use the Scrying Orb to reveal him, and he's probably got no idea who actually used the Scrying Orb. Once he figures out it's me, I'm sure he's shitting bricks. Twitch was basically their only hope, considering all our lanes won except for bot. So once we killed him, it didn't take long before the enemy surrendered. We went through the bot tower with our Baron, and then they forfeited. And I don't blame them either. They didn't really have much shot. They're trying to scale with a Vlad and Fiora, but we are just too far ahead. Heading into game number 3, we are on 71 LP Master, so close to breaking 100 LP, which this season, we've yet to do that. So I end up picking Braum. It's my highest win rate champion. I believe we're over 60%, and he's definitely my comfort pick. He's a bit of an all-rounder, and he's a tier 1 support at the moment. You're about to see exactly why I'm so good at Braum. Well, statistically anyway. How about that, eh? I don't think you could find me a single other Braum that would flash there and just face walk into 3 people. I mean, if you can, I would be very impressed. I have an extreme problem that I'm not sure yet how to beat. Basically, Alistair is my kryptonite. Do any of you guys know, how do you guys counter Alistair when you have to burst him? Because I have no clue. I swear to God, I lose to this champion every single time. I thought I'd have the ability to trade back 1-for-1 here, but I was completely wrong. When I rewatch this, it's quite obvious to me that I should just use my W, immediately run away. For the next 6 minutes, things got quite stale. We played safe until this moment. Seraphine clearly has a hunch that Twitch is there, so what I'm trying to do is stand as far back as possible to try and convince her that he's actually not. It does end up working. She goes for that creep, Twitch pops out, and I try to make the gap close by using my movement speed. I'm now in position to tank the tower, so Twitch has no fear of going under. I'm sure he would have got it anyway, but it's always good to put yourself in that position to try and help. I'm going to try and summarize how this game went. We had a massive lead from the level 1 invade, and then our jungler decided to camp mid, which is great. He got a lot of gold onto the mid laner. The problem is, the mid laner never could get control of the game. So even though he had a lot of gold on him, he still can't push out the Garen. The Garen had complete control of the mid lane. Anytime he tried to roam, you know, he's just shoving out of that tower. That's the gist of this game. Top lane was also losing, and the bot lane was trying to claw back from that level 1 mistake that we made. I think it was more my fault than the Twitch's, to be honest, so I will take responsibility for that. The TLDR is they've got 2 split pushes, and neither of our side lanes can hold either of them. And we're just running around the map trying to deal with it. Fizz the entire time was complaining about needing help from the Garen, but then for some reason, the later this game went, he kept trying to match the Garen, even though Gangplank could clear the wave. I mean, I didn't fully understand it. It was frustrating the hell out of me. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. We held on for 30 minutes, and I do think we were starting to get some momentum. Fizz had enough gold, GP had scaled, and then the Twitch took it into his own hand. This wasn't the first time he attempted this. He tried to make this play many, many times, and it never worked. I'm surprised he decided to do it again, especially when we're finally coming back into the game. It would have been a tough win anyway, but this is how it ended. He started the fight by himself, was picked off, and then they just walked through the base. I mean, their split push was too strong. We weren't holding this. After that loss, I wanted to play something that I would have fun with, so I went with double jungle. They have a Zeri bot lane with a Yuumi, which usually means that we can do what we want. We also had an AP carry that first locked in Zyra. It's the perfect game for a double jungle Sion. Everyone helped me invade. I mean, it's an ideal start. Nidalee then tries to contest me. I went to her side to try and create some havoc. It works out perfectly once again. I'm level 2, she's level 1. I can just shove her out. What's she gonna do? I'm lowering her as much as possible. I don't think I can kill her, but if we get her too low, she's got no choice but to go back. And that's what ends up happening. She goes all the way back, and then while I'm killing her red, she shows up to her blue only level 1. I had actually told the Echo to skip his red side and go straight to the blue because I knew he was going to be level 1, but this was my greatest mistake. I should have just let the Echo full clear. It would have been a much more comfortable path for him. We've put him in a situation that he's unfamiliar with, and he kind of butchers it. I mean, I'm not blaming him. It's my fault. I'm never going to tell them to go on that side ever again. I'm just going to let it be. Despite the level 1 Nidalee holding his blue side, I attempt to crossover. I still have a level advantage on him while the Echo can catch back up and farm. I make a play in the mid lane, we secure our first kill. At this point, Nidalee was trying to poke me down. She still hasn't taken that blue, and I'm looking to take advantage of the level gap. She's actually a pretty decent Nidalee, lands a Q onto me, and I try to run. I'm trying my best to minimize the amount of gold that we lose. I'm hoping, just hoping, that they manage to do the 2v2 or the 2v3. Doesn't go our way. Doesn't go our way at all. The Trendemir was just always in the right spot at the right time, and our Camille, not so much. We steal a camp and then look to execute. We're taking whatever we can. We're trying to make the best of a bad situation. I go around to the other side of the map and steal another camp. Even though things have not gone our way, we're still in an okay spot. Nidalee is definitely out of this game. She's taken 2 camps. She's got the Braum and she's got her blue. She may also have taken a scuttle. That's probably how she got level 3. Either that or it's from all the experience from the kills. Either way, I'm the secondary jungle and I've got a level advantage, which means Echo is also a level ahead of her. Double level advantage. Nidalee's dead again. We get a kill on top lane. Things, they look to be positive, right? Well, not quite. They have an Akali in the mid lane, and Akali does Akali things. I'll give credit when credit's due. This Akali played really well. She was extremely slippery, to the point of frustration, I may add. I came into this game with the goal of shutting down the Nidalee. I think I succeeded at that. It would have been better if my goal was to come in and win some ELO, because that we did not succeed in. Our team surrendered at 15 minutes against our will. The enemy has a Twitch mid. I love ganking them at level 1. They always try to do the cheese where they go invisible and all in. And if they don't do that, who cares? We can trade our flash for their flash. It's a positive trade for us. Like, they need their flash in that mid lane, whereas we can still make plays happen with our Hex flash. Straight away, this bot lane was just action upon action. Shaco decided to camp our lane, which resulted in that double kill, so that was quite profitable. He then came back and we had to face off against Lilia. This is a bit of an overextension, but it seemed profitable at the time. I realized I was going to die no matter what, so I was going to sacrifice myself in the hope that my team can escape for free. Doesn't work out that way. They tragically both meet their end. The pain, it doesn't end there. I'm trying to recall, it's clear I'm on a ward. We're now in this 3v2. Lily has tasted our blood and she's coming back for more. Yep. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but this isn't the finest Leona gameplay we've ever seen. I'm not sure what was going through my head. In my brain, I thought I saw Diana in the mid lane, Shaco coming across, so it would be a 3v1 pincer movement onto the enemy jungle. Diana was recalling. She went back to base. We get fucking stranded. Everyone's dead because of me. I'm pretty much running around like a headless chicken at this point, and it doesn't really change from there. Immediately after, Lilia comes bot again, and yep, both of us are dead. The ADC gets extremely mad. Fair enough, right? It is what it is. But the truth is, we were never going to work together from that point on. He's pretty much telling me to end it. So I decided to start roaming around. If things aren't working in one lane, your best bet to gain elo is likely to start roaming around the map. I admit it was my fault, but I'm also still here to win the elo, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to do that. When I think someone won't carry, or in this case, I've made it so he can't carry, I'm going to look for the next best thing. And in this particular game, that's the Diana. She played kind of greedy in the early game, but it paid off. So she has a lot of gold and she's doing the work. So that's who you're going to see that I start supporting, basically. I follow her around and I work with her to get more gold for the team. This turned out to be a very close back and forth battle between the teams. It favored them in the early, in the mid it was us, and then heading in towards the late game, they started to get a lot of pressure off of this fed Lilia that we couldn't control. They ended up getting the Baron and started dominating the team fights. Our team caught the Lilia in our jungle and attempted to all-in her. She is just so tanky and so quick. They end up getting killed, and they're going for the final push here. I see Twitch invading, taking out inhib. I go for the all-in, manage to kill him, which turns out to be absolutely critical in saving this game. You know that thing teams do when they think they 100% have the win, and instead of waiting for the minions, they start tanking the tower and expect that we won't fight back? Well, that's what happened this game. The enemy get completely pushed out of the base, and let me just tell you this way, the game does not end as they wanted it to.
Y'all ain't on this level, bitches, Tilterella.